It's time for another episode of The Real Crimes of Kurri Kurri. In this episode we discuss kids. When court sat here at Kurri Kurri Local Court on the 25th of March 2025, there were a number of kids present. Like many local courts, it's not unusual to see kids accompanying defendants, but on this day we also saw a child appear and the court remained open. And no, the kids' court wasn't sitting here on that day. It was part of the usual local court proceedings. The law allows this. The magistrate even checked the law on the day. Anyways, first up was a very small kid who was the best dressed person in court. I'm also going to say they were the best behaved person at Kurri on this day as well. When a small kid is brought into the courtroom, it's very likely because of the defendant's personal circumstances. And on this day, the court appeared to accommodate this by dealing with this case first. In my opinion, they seem to do this to minimise the time that a small kid is in court. The kid sat on the defendant's lap while the defendant was sentenced. By the way, they don't sit in the dock, rather in the defendant's chair, which is in front of the dock. In my opinion, the defendant was treated the same. The law was applied just like all the other defendants. The defendant stood as the sentence was delivered while the small kid held on to them. This is just how things are. Another case later in the morning saw a boy appear on a traffic matter. The boy is only 17 and not considered a man until 18. Usually boys appear at the kids' court, which doesn't sit at Kurri. The kids' court sits at places like Cessnock, East Maitland and of course Newcastle, and it's a closed court, meaning there's no public gallery. So on this day, the boy's solicitor indicates that the court should be closed because he's a child. However, the magistrate confirms that he is 17, but it's a traffic case and he is of a licensable age, which is 16 years and 9 months old. They discuss the law and the magistrate declines to close the court. By the way, there's just me and about 4 other people and the boy's mum sitting in the gallery. This isn't the first time I've observed traffic cases where the defendant is a kid. I recently observed a girl being sentenced at Maitland Local Court for speeding. Even if the court remains open, we in the gallery need to be aware not to breach the child's privacy. For example, I don't reveal their names. In my opinion, I think we should discuss the kids' cases, not just from the local court, but also what goes on in the children's court. And I reckon we can have conversations about kids and their crimes without identifying the child. I would argue that silence doesn't assist the community in managing their expectations and allowing them to understand how the court deals with kids. So this next bit is me talking about a kid's case. In my opinion, the boy was treated just like all the adults on the day. The boy holds a P2 licence and speeding resulted in the police suspending his licence until April this year. The boy has managed to keep working during the suspension because his mum has been driving him around. The magistrate comments that he is lucky to have family support. This is his first time in court and the magistrate tells him to slow down and explains he is in a huge risk category. He is sentenced to a conditional release order for 15 months. Slow down, there's kids around at Kurri Kurri Local Court.